King Arthur is the newest recreation of the King Arthur saga, and it doesn't do anything interesting enough to warrant its existence.
I know your story. What kind of a man would you have become had you inherited your father's kingdom instead of being raised in a brothel? What gave you such drive?
So the film was directed by Guy Ritchie, and it's starring Charlie Hunnam and Jude Law as like the two main hero and villain. And there's other characters that are good, and some from Game of Thrones, and they're all fine. But it's just that there's so many amazing fantasy books that you could throw hundreds of millions of dollars at and get a really cool film or series. But instead, they revisit King Arthur, and they change a lot. They try to make it a lot more like modern, and some of it is good, and some of it is just kind of weird. And like the biggest problem with the film, I think, is the action. Like, it's weird. Like, for me, I love good action, and I love, good fantasy story. But the action, when he gets the sword, like, it's very odd. Like, I saw him, like, he's time slows, and, like, he jumps from person to person, like, killing everyone. But they don't show enough of it. And a lot of it is fully CGI. Like, especially towards the end of the film, when he's fighting with his uncle. Like, it is some of the worst CGI fights I've seen since the Matrix sequels. Like, it looks like that. It looks that bad. It looks like these rubber guys flailing around with weapons. And I don't see why you couldn't do more of it practical. Or because, it looks so bad. Like, the eye just sees it, and it's in that uncanny valley where it just looks horrible. And I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know. They thought that, oh, that looks good. Because just film it with a person doing stuff. There's like a lot of stuff isn't that crazy that they're doing when he's swinging the sword, but they have to make it CG to make it look cooler. I guess I don't know. The best scene of the film, and probably the one that's in the trailer a lot, is the opening scene. And like the King Arthur's dad, like Uther Pendragon, is pretty badass, like more so than Arthur. And Charlie Hunnam is okay. Like I haven't really loved him in anything he's been in, but he's serviceable King Arthur. And I like the mage with him, and the cast is decent. But a lot of stuff, the Guy Ritchie-isms, like their characters with weird names and weird personas, and like Goose Fat Bill or something like that. It's just goofy. And the weird thing too is that because to keep it PG-13, they kind of censored him, Guy Ritchie. I really feel like it. There's no swears for the whole film, and then it feels like there are times where like he would be swearing. They would be swearing, and they don't because it has to be PG-13, and it feels like it's not a Guy Ritchie film then. I know he's done it with the Sherlock and stuff too, but it doesn't feel like his vernacular. Like they're talking with Guy Ritchie sort of lines a lot of the film. But then they don't like swear at all, and in times where they should be swearing, and times where they may say something else, and it's just kind of goofy. Another big problem with the film I have is that, like, in one trailer you kind of see where he's talking to the one guy from Game of Thrones about what happened the previous day, and they go through like everything he did, and like that whole thing where like he talks about it, and they kind of go fast and like do all the stuff, like all the gangster stuff he's doing, and they do that multiple times throughout the film. And like the third and fourth time, I'm like, really? You doing that again? Why? Just do it normally. Just don't do that. It's just weird. It brings the film down, and it's just like that, using that device way too much. Like, use it once, maybe twice, no more than that. It's just after that it just becomes annoying. And as a whole, it's not a good film. When I saw the trailer, I wanted to see this. I am the target audience for this. I read fantasy books. I play RPGs. I know about King Arthur. I watch all the movies like that. I should love this film, but I didn't. And honestly, I didn't go see it until like last week or like early, and I didn't. Part of that was my theater being really weird because they had it in two theaters. and instead of like staggering the times for non-3D and 3D, they had like both 3D films like right next to each other, and like the non-3D were really weird times, so I just didn't go. And I think a lot of other people didn't go too. But you know, I definitely wouldn't recommend it. I mean, you could have a little bit of fun if you see it on TV sometime like a year later or so, but I wouldn't go out of my way to see it. I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10. But thanks for watching, and check out my other videos or subscribe to me around my head. So thanks.